Signor de Lupi. Recon complete. No hostiles sighted. The route map they gave us sure is nifty. We actually managed to get here first without any real obstacles along the way. All the tech used in the new city's design comes from Colombia. It has lots of functionality that none of the mafiosi ever understood. For example, the road leading directly to the control tower will be blocked off after we pass through. They've also managed to block other intersections with various methods. Not to mention what we saw along the way. The conflicts between the families have been spreading. At this point, even if any of them wanted to attack the control tower, another family would get in the way. Most importantly, they'd never expect us to take it from right under their noses. That's right. However, it's too soon to rest on our laurels. The Bolognes, Rosatis, and Saluzos. Those three families will never give up the secondary core area. They will definitely make an appearance. With me and Texas here, you've got nothing to worry about. Sorry. I wasn't trying to get you dragged into this mess. I chose to do this. Same here. In exchange, I don't need you to tell me where I can get the best pizza. Deal. You said the tech here comes from Colombia. That's right. Family Rosati laid most of the groundwork, so I'm a bit concerned they'll have some way of breaking through. There's one place they have no choice but to pass through. If there's one place they have no choice but to pass through, where would that be? Something's not right here. You feel it too? That's something to do with other families getting in the way, but while it's possible that the big gate over there might have been activated accidentally, we've been taking detours for a while now, and I'm pretty sure these blockades were set here on purpose. In other words, someone's one step ahead of us. Yes, and they also happen to be very, very familiar with the area. And only the Rosatis fit that bill. The only other possibility would be those who helped in the conversion of the secondary core area. Let's not worry about who it could be for now. How do we break through? I can give it a try. One of my soldiers should know how. We're wasting too much time. And if someone really set this up on purpose, they'll definitely have a backup plan. I know what you're going to say. Even though we haven't had the most fun partnering here. We're about to the part where our agreement formally ends. Guess so. You know, in a sense, we're brothers in misfortune. We have nothing in common. Am I wrong though? I can clearly tell you're a guy with a smart look to him, but you're actually a complete idiot. Loyal to a fault. Same as me. Don't bother trying to talk yourself up like that. No one's buying it. I'm not looking for excuses here. I know what I'm doing, and I don't regret it. But if what you said is true, and your boss was the one who set all of this in motion, you're probably gonna find yourself standing against your own fratelli? Are you prepared to do what you've got to do? Will you really get what you're looking for? How about you? Did you get what you're looking for? No. I've got a guilty conscience, but there's nothing I can do about it. Your Honor, I found the control tower technicians hiding in one of the rooms. They want to talk to you. Deal. You're a judge. Don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here on behalf of any family or Signora Sicilia. Then, who are you here for? Right now? No one. Alright. As long as you don't hurt us, we should be able to help you. I want to ask you something first. What? Who told you to start the separation sequence of the secondary core area? Was it a mafioso from Family Bologna? He said he was the Don of Family Bologna. Bernardo. It really was you, Bernardo. Did you have to do all this for the sake of your so-called power? He also asked me if I had ever imagined what Syracuse would look like without families. What did you say? Up ahead is the central facility that controls that gate, isn't it? Yeah. Then? Life keeps bringing us together, doesn't it, Sicilia? That's right. Only one of us can walk out of this alive. Lavinia? The judge? Yeah. We followed your instructions and not to break through right away. We took some detours and nabbed ourselves a government guy. That's what he told us. She's already taken the control tower. I have to admit, no family would have thought such an insignificant judge could pull off something like that with just a few paper pushers. But even if she managed to stall those families with her funny business, what good will it do in the end? Boss, bad news! Out with it. It's Lapland. She suddenly showed up at the estate and started chopping up our boys. She's making her way over to you. Stop her. You got it. Ah. Lapland. You sure I've gotten good at killing. Back in the day, you would have taken a lot longer and picked up a few more scars on your way here. You haven't changed at all. You don't even bat an eye at your own boys getting killed. What's the point in crying over some incompetent associates? What about an incompetent child? Oh, spiacente. I almost forgot that for you, there's basically no difference between an associate and your own child. You know what I hate more than anything else? Ragazza? Incompetent idiots who are also obedient. I've been waiting a long time for you, ever since you came back home, waiting for you to bare your fangs at me. And now that time has finally come. Tell me, figlia mia, all these years, what is it that has made you like this? What made you disobey me? Rebel against me time and time again? Speak up, so I can discipline you. Upon hearing Alberto's words, Lapland cracks a smile. However, she lowers the weapons in her hands. For the longest time, I've been thinking if I should try rubbing you out. Oh? Surely, killing your own father isn't something that would give you a moment's hesitation. It's not the act I'm conflicted over. More, the meaning of it. The meaning? A woman like you cares to go searching for meaning in things? Meaning is pretty important to me, like profit is to you. Padre mio, do you know why I care so much about Texas? You've never explained it to me. From the moment I was born, I grew up a part of this family. You raised me with the most proper Syracusan education, and I met your expectations. As a Syracusan, I am second to none. And here I thought you never acknowledged who you were, Ragazza. When do you think I managed to wiggle out of your control? Or I guess, not from your control, but from Syracusa. From the family, from our blood. from the control of our rules. I hated it. All of it. But in the end, I couldn't actually escape any of it. All those things were like the strings of a marionette over my head. No matter how much I rebelled, in the end, I'm still dancing in the palm of your hand. There's no way out. Only you would look at Siracusa and see an inescapable swamp. And everybody, including you, Padre, you're all scum, whether you realize it or not. Of course, I didn't realize it at that age. The old me thought she was crazy enough, rebellious enough. But looking back, I was just in denial. And you thought I'd grow out of it after a few years. Isn't that right? That goes without saying. I was well aware of your rebelliousness, but I never understood where it came from. From you being so totally convinced that your way of life, your actions, completely right. You never doubted for a second that I would eventually become you. And that's when she appeared. At first, it was because there was someone out there in far-off Colombia who was better than me. Sicilia, Texas, the granddaughter of Salvador. Strong, honorable, and loyal. After popping back over here, she quickly became the most famous Siracusan among all the families. Even though she was Colombian. You're just as good as her. Of course. But that's not the important part. The important part is, she clearly was Siracusan, thoroughly poisoned by the swamp of this city. But in the end, she chose to turn her back on her blood, letting her entire family get liquidated. The blame for that rests only with Giuseppe. Where is Sicilia's sin in the righteous judgment of her kin? Not like betrayal was particularly rare among wolves. But she chose to turn her back. She chose to get out. Can you imagine, Padre, that day when I found out she wanted to leave Siracusa, to leave everything behind? I was so exhilarated. You figured it was an act of rebellion, and a successful one? She didn't succeed. I knew from the beginning that the land itself wasn't going to let her go. So why are you standing here in front of me again? For her. For her? No, Padre mio. No. I'm here not because I learned anything in particular from her successes and failures, but because she taught me that the choice exists in the first place. I knew she would eventually return here, and I looked forward to seeing what she would do when she came back. And she did absolutely nothing. No, you don't understand. She made up her mind. Sicilia, what do you think you're doing? You don't need to know. And you're not going to know. You ran away from Colombia before. And from Siracusa. You ran from it all. And now, you have the stones to stand on the soil again. Isn't that kind of ridiculous? This land isn't a lost cause. So I'm not running away anymore. Simple as that. You stopped running, so you came back? But what about the people you left behind? Go tell that to them. Blame it all on me. You decided You had to kill Giovanna, so you pinned the blame on me. I'm not that shameless yet. But you will pay for it all the same. You're gonna have to die, Sicilia. Don't worry. Death is where I belong. Damn you. Now, it's my turn. This used to keep me up at night. But when I finally stood in front of you, face to face, I realized this was never such a difficult thing in the first place. Turns out, it's not that I wanted to rebel against you or kill you. All I needed to do is say goodbye to you, my dear father, to this family, to this swamp. That's why I'm here. You want to become an enemy to all of Siracusa. No. Siracusa became my enemy. Goodbye forever, Padre. Lapland gives her father a deep parting bow. A vague thought creeps across Alberto's mind. This is his best chance to be rid of this monster. That's right. Monster. A monster he raised with his own two hands. She is by no means invincible, but it seems like nothing is capable of touching her. He is 100% sure that if he strikes now, he would be able to slay his daughter on the spot. She is by no means dauntless, yet she chose to throw away everything she had. Throw away. He knows he should act now, to rid himself of future headaches. But, Padre, she's a monster, and yet, one that he raised with his own two hands. All she wanted was simple freedom. Why would she still come to see him? Lone wolves eventually remember the pack to which they belong. But after today, his daughter will no longer belong to any pack. Alberto lets out a heavy sigh. The next time I see you, I will kill you, my daughter. My pride. Traitor. Lapland smiles, but does not answer. She is no longer a lone wolf. Never again will Siracusa have a place for her. And never again will she need one. The only thing left is you, Texas. Are you sure letting Sicilia go alone was the right call? Don't sweat it. She asked to go herself, so she must have had a reason for it. You don't want to find out what that reason is? Let me give you a little tip. On one of the prerequisites for being a good partner is to never ask your counterpart about stuff she doesn't want to share. You two have a great relationship. You betcha. What? What is it? You got somebody coming up on you. She's moving really fast. One? Yeah. Just one. Black hair. Dressed like a really flamboyant mob boss. Holding two pistol-shaped wands. Leon? Lavinia. I knew it'd be you. Leon Tuso. Why did you come here? I'm looking for you. but you cut all communication with the family. So I haven't been able to get through. While I was looking around, I overheard wise guys from other families talking about how someone had blocked off some passages in the secondary core area, which doesn't sound like anything any of us would do. Which is why I came here. That's right. You were with Karasi so long. You must have known this was the best place to break in. No, break through. But I have nothing more to say to you, Leon. Wait. Lavinia. I'm here to... Leon? Lavinia? And the court guys too. Alright. So you're the one who's been messing with the secondary core area behind our backs. Leon, where the hell did you go after that meeting? Don't tell me you've been with her this whole time. No. I went looking for my father. What? Why didn't you tell me? Because when I was face to face with Alberto, I heard the things that car wash worker had to say about me. And I finally realized I've been wrong my entire life. That's why Dimitri and Lavinia stand on opposite sides of the wide avenue. Oh shit, he's gonna pick a side right here. Leon Tuzo takes a deep breath and finally walks over to Lavinia's side. That's your answer, huh? Correct. From now on, I am no longer Don Balone. Leon. You know what this means, don't you? I do. Do you? No matter how grand the Don's ideals were, he still chose to abandon his family. And you, no matter how grand your ideals may be, you gonna do the same? We're a family, goddammit, Leon Tuzo. Look me in the eye and answer me. We grew up together. We've been through so much together. Does all of that mean nothing to you? My father sought a family. It's nothing more than a match to light a fuse. Like the fuse of a new era in Siracusa. He was wrong in his ways, but Leon Tuzo gradually raises his eyes and looks directly at Dimitri. In the end, I'll stand against all families, since it's bound to happen sooner or later. Let's not drag out the suffering, Dimitri. Just when everything is about to teeter over the edge, a chill engulfs everyone present. You shall not leave. You will accomplish nothing. Not even your bones will remain. What is this? There's a voice in my head. A black fog congeals around the area. As the fog condenses, an impalpable coercion gradually presses down on the heads, shoulders, and hearts gathered there. From this coercion, they feel a thread of kinship, as if its very existence is entangled with the blood in their veins. No, it is indeed an existence entangled with their blood. But the thread immediately snaps, leaving only bottomless fear behind. Because within this coercion broils bottomless anger. In this moment, all reason is suppressed, as if a voice is screaming out to them. Bow down. Surrender. It's freezing cold. Those unable to bear the pressure fall one by one, until only Leontuso, Lavinia, and Dimitri remained standing. I remember this feeling. Leontuso turns his gaze towards the entity emerging from the coalesced fog. Watch out! There's something off about that stuff. Il Signor de Lupi. Before the words leave his lips, a pack of wolves formed from the fog, lunges at Leontuso and others. Didn't the Signori de Lupi agree not to meddle in the affairs of mortals? I changed my mind. Bernardo ruined my plans. I spent 68 years grooming him. And now he's killed himself just to deny my victory. What did you say? My father killed himself? His father's interpretation of the Signori de Lupi in the game flashed through Leontuso's mind. He suddenly understands that the words his father spoke to him in the church were a kind of approval for him. And his last words, his father had planned to take his own life all along. The price for insulting the Signori de Lupi is a heavy one. He may be dead, but I won't stop until his bloodline is ended. Son of Bernardo, you will pay for the sins of your father. The price is his bloodline and your life. Price? Did you say price? My father may have been wrong, but his dream was always about bringing change to the times. He wanted a Syracuse without the families, and spent his entire life planning it. I thought his own family was a chip to him. I thought he acted when he did, because it was the right time. But now I know. He decided he was out of time. This was his only chance to get revenge on you, and achieve his dream. I taught him everything he knew. He repaid me with betrayal. You wouldn't understand. Signor de Lupi on high, thinking everything is under his control. The father, even his own life, was just another chip. He was determined to make his dream come true, even if it meant paying the ultimate price. But you're the one who will pay. Ignorant whelp. Welcome back, Texas. Are you done over there? Yeah. Time to clean up the trouble over here. The last Texas. Do not forget who permitted you to break from Syracuse. How dare you defy me? I kept my bargain with Bernardo. I owe you nothing. Fool! Bernardo killed himself? Why? The game is over, Lavinia. That's what you really meant. Syracuse was not the families. That was your true dream. Why didn't you tell me? Try to keep your head in the fight, Judgy. Lapland, why didn't you tell me you were throwing a party, Texas? You would have come anyways. Yeah, you're right. Get lost, cub without a pack. There's no place for you here. Let me tell you some good news, Signor de Lupi, Figlio de Lupi, whatever you are. Starting now, Everything Siracusan is my enemy. Even supernatural beings like you. Idiot! What about you, boss? You were there, looking me in the eye. Would you tell me without a doubt that you choose your dreams? Like Leon? I mean, I don't know the answer anymore. Stay focused. You don't want to die. You're the feeble thing of Agnes. Did you think yourself worthy to stand before me just because you caught a glimpse of the death of my fang? I promised Bernardo that I'd help his kin. Agnes has raised a feeble fang. It's time to put an end to her part in this game. You cannot destroy me, no matter what you do. You cannot even harm me. Humans built cities, trapped themselves within, and think themselves the masters of the lands beneath them. Do not presume to have risen because you learned to use a few tools. You have never conquered the wastes. Ladies and gentlemen, you stand in the presence of the Emperor, Lungman Superstar. Boss? Let me take this chance to remind you, your vacation's almost up, Texas. Why are you here? You asking me? Sora and the girls ran off after you. You know what the past months has been like for me? I ain't been this bored in 3,000 years. I got nobody to party with. Emperor. Hold it, Zaru. You gonna say I got no business in Siracusa? It ain't my right to stick my flipper in here. Honestly, I don't give a shit. But if I think on it, I'm gonna pass on some dumbass fight with you. Beating you at your own game? That'd make me happier. So, shadow after shadow emerges from beneath Emperor's feet and takes corporeal form. Zaru knows them, of course. They are the Signori dei Lupi, who have lost in this round. They are here for one reason. He broke the rules. They can accept how he played, but they will not permit the rules to be broken. Look, I brought the other Wolf's Lords. They bored too. Let me give you the good news. You're a loser. In pretty much every way a man can be a loser. The Signori dei Lupi are immortal. But over the long years, they have long learned to contain, suppress, even torment each other against so many beings of his kind. Zaru knows that resistance is futile. After a moment of silence, he lowers his proud head. Tell you the truth, Zaru? Your whole thing, the way you talk about power, the way you play with it, gives me the heebie-jeebies. The way you stew in your anger, looking to tear everything in your way to pieces. That's what shows you still true to your nature. But all you wolves, don't you get bored playing a dumbass game like this for thousands of years? You ought to come to Lungman. I'll teach you to play poker. Or Mahjong. Mahjong ain't bad. Zaru ignores Emperor's jabs. Takes one last long look at Leon Tuso. Then his silhouette becomes less and less distinct, until he fades away completely in the wind. It is as though he never existed. Thanks, boss. Don't thank me. Someone would have done something, even if it wasn't me. She just delegated the job, didn't you, sexy? For what? Been a long time since anyone called me sexy. You're welcome to spend some time enjoying Siracusa if you'd like. Just call me Emperor. Interesting name. You're not arrogant or ignorant like the Signori dei Lupi. Siracusa welcomes you, Emperor. I think Siracusa's gonna like me. Signora Sicilia. The games of the Signori dei Lupi are archaic and stupid. Leon Tuso, son of Bernardo. Rest assured, he'll never trouble you again. Leon Tuso cannot move an inch. He realizes that everything ended the moment the old woman appeared. Not just the game of the Signori dei Lupi, but their resistance as well. The old woman before him looks kind and cordial, but he knows that he will die in the most painful way possible if he makes one wrong move. He also knows, however, that to back down now is to see all his effort, all that he believes in, fade into dream. He looks over at Lavinia and sees the same thought in her eyes. Pardon me, Signora Sicilia. I didn't expect to have the honor of your presence in this way. You may already know what happened. You may have already made your decision, but I hope you'll give me and Lavinia a chance. A chance? What kind of chance? A chance to talk. Even if we're doomed to die, I hope you'll grant us an audience before that happens. Ah. Igner always says I should listen to the youths more. I think he overestimates his age. Come with me, children. You have earned a chance. May I have a moment first? I would like to take one last look at Bernardo. Alright. Exia! Texas! You okay? We're fine. Yeah. What are you doing here? I was too worried. Giovanna's stable now, so I brought Croissant. Looks like everything's more or less hunky-dory over here. No? I guess so. Whew! It still feels like something's missing. But I guess we can throw our party now? Yeah. You guys decide what kind of party you want. Where are you going, Texas? Toilet. Toilet isn't that way. I know. Feel the weight off your shoulders? Like you just got over a hill? There's still a big trouble waiting. Right there. Shall we go? We'll go. By the way, Texas, I got a letter from Signora Sicilia before you went back to Siracusa. Cool. Guess what it said? No thanks. Oh, you're no fun. Signora Sicilia invited me to join the Bocca al Lupo. Bocca al Lupo. Basically, become one of her wolves. So I burned the letter. I figured I was gonna get some Syracusans giving me trouble for a while. Then you went back to Siracusa all of a sudden. You have any idea how surprised I was when I realized you were gone? Oh. So you've made up your mind? Yes. I'll stay and help Lavinia and Leon Tuso. What about you? I've made up my mind too. I heard you made a hell of a scene with your own family. I just went to say goodbye to my father. Texas, you really not get what I see in you? Sometimes, I think I do. Sometimes, I think I don't. All I know is that you seem to have gotten over something. Oh? Are you showing concern for me? I just think you're kind of annoying. The pair were walking side by side. Now they head to opposite ends of the clearing, as if by some silent agreement. At the end of the day, we have to do this. I guess so. Do you remember? 7 years ago, you came to me in front of the burning mansion, looking to get away from it all. I got hell for that day. 7 years later, you came to me again in a rainy park to issue a silly challenge to Siracusa. I'll kill you today. That's my line. The sound of weapons clashing fills the park. No tricks. No fooling around. Every attack is intended to kill. You can call me your past, Texas. I believe that no one could escape this swamp. You escaped your past once and made up your mind to cut all ties with it. After returning to Siracusa, you proved to everyone that you had what it took to escape the swamp. You're staying here of your own accord to help that young cub change the place. You're giving me too much credit. My dream has always been to live a simple life with a few good friends. I'll defend it if someone threatens to destroy it. There's nothing complicated about it. I truly never knew you, Sicilia. I didn't realize how Syracuse exhausted you, or how you resented Columbia. Now that I think about it, I was like my grandma. She spent her entire life hoping that the old Salvadore would change his mind. She never even asked, never even tried to fight for it. The same for me. I assumed the good times would last forever. I was so proud and arrogant. You wouldn't mind me staying with you, and I would love to chat more with Sora. But I don't deserve that. Not yet. And so, let me close the curtains on Act 3 of La Morte de Texas, on Selena's Texas' story. You're free, Selena. No one defines you. So let me put it in a different way. You're my nightmare, Texas. You always surprise me. You're always a step ahead of me. You made all the decisions that I couldn't. And now I can finally say this, after finally taking that step, like you did. You're right. There's nothing complicated about it. If I hated everything about Syracuse so much, I should have destroyed it. In the end, you're the one who made me take this step. That's why you said goodbye to your father, and why you're standing here in front of me. You want to settle things with your past. Yes, just like you. We didn't have to go at each other's throats like this, but it happened. We each decided, on our own, that to kill each other is the way to settle things. The best way to say our goodbyes. The one who survives will become stronger. Not that Lapland has become stronger than Texas, or that Texas has become weak. Just like how Lapland did not lose to Texas 7 years ago, because she was weaker. They were evenly matched from the beginning. What determines the outcome is Lady Luck, perhaps, or more importantly, strength of will. 7 years ago, Lapland lost the Battle of Wills, but now, having said goodbye to the family, her will is no weaker than Texas's. Either may win, and either may lose. It's over. Texas! Stay back. Texas takes one look at Sora, then closes her eyes. Lapland thought she knew Texas well enough. What did she not know? She bore witness to Texas' exhaustion with Siracusa, and her decision to declare war on the country. Texas' decisions surprised her each time, but this time, she thought it would not be so. One lives, the other dies. There would be no other end. But as she saw the unwillingness to let go in Texas's eyes, she once again realized that she was wrong. The very end, in the ending that Lapland wrote for herself, Texas has surprised her once again. All right. Lapland sees this battle as a farewell, a liberation. Lose, and she will accept her death. Win, and she will be able to let it all go. When the pin by the name of Texas is pulled from her consciousness, a lunatic by the name of Lapland would be born. But it never happened, because Texas. So you were just Texas after all? Of course I'm just Texas. What about you? Looks like I'm just Lapland. Lapland extends a hand to Texas. Texas takes the hand. Texas, am I your friend or your enemy? You're my friend and my enemy. Then go. Let me do what a friend should. Texas nods to the others and walks towards Grey Hall. It is all so natural, as though it was always the way things should be. When Lavinia walks into the church and sees the body sitting silently on the pew, she finally accepts the truth. Bernardo is dead. She sits by the man who was both father and brother. The man who had such an impact on her life, and stays silent. In the end, she says nothing. She holds Bernardo's lifeless hand, as though communicating something, or getting something from him. Then, she turns and leaves. The dead are dead and gone. She must move on. I heard my friends talking about what you did. Let me ask you one thing, child. All the nations across these lands are seeking change, trying to move with the times. But the impetus for change is an awareness of inadequacy, or a search for breakthrough. Does Siracusa need that? Does Siracusa really need to change? Do you think that the family is something that must exist? Nothing is, but it existed for centuries before I was born. We can't deny our history, or so easily destroy what already exists, can we? That's why you chose to continue the family system when you established Grey Hall, except now all the families have to operate under your control. I don't intend to deny it. In fact, I think it was the correct decision in its time. But things are different now. Correct. The return of the Colombian families have brought advanced technology and philosophy. The Colombians are exerting an increasing influence on family-style rule, but many haven't realized it. Some of what my father did was overly radical. Our motivations are different, and so are our means. But one thing is the same. We both believe that Siracusa doesn't need the families anymore. What are you planning to do then? The simplest thing would be to kill you here, or die trying. But that's the choice my father would have made. As for me, I would like to borrow a city. An interesting proposal. A new city needs new blood. But you're on your own, child. How am I supposed to believe that you can reach your goal? The doors of Grey Hall are pushed open before Signora Sicilia finished her sentence. Salinia, the last Texas. Come here and let me get a good look at you. I see your grandfather in you. Thank you. Looks like Giovanna has given you the necklace that I gave her. What is it you want? Do you want to go back to Lungmen? I guarantee that Siracusa will never disturb you again. I want to ask you to spare family Rosati. Oh? That's a surprise. Warlock assassinated Giovanna and tried to kill you many times. Do you really want to spare him? They're only trying to survive in their own way. You can keep the necklace. I never intended to do anything to them. Or you can trade it for the right to leave Syracuse forever. Texas sits down by Leon Tuzo's side. Don't need that. I'm extending my vacation. What about you, Lapland? Lone Wolf, Saluzzo's traitor. Lapland walks to Texas's side with a jesting smirk on her face. I got a simple dream. I want to destroy Syracuse, just like them. The difference that I'm not as civilized. And you, Judge Lavinia, instrument of my will. Lavinia stands behind Leon Tuzo. Your will was once Syracuse itself, but now I'm going to change it. You believe that I'm wrong? I believe that no one can be right forever. Signora Sicilia casts her gaze at the four young people before her. One who came from the strongest family in Syracuse, whose upbringing made him long for a civilized future. Denied by his position, he chose to bury his head in the sand. One came from modest beginnings, who earned the favor of the families. It filled her with doubt about herself, and so she chose to deceive herself. One came from the oldest family in Syracuse, who hated everything it asked of her. It drove her to rebellion, down a path of madness. One who came from the strongest family in Colombia, who became exhausted with the existence of the family itself. She chose to run away in silence. They want to change Syracuse for different reasons, but they all came together in the end. I won't live forever, but I have a few decades left. Until the moment my eyes close forever, Syracuse will enjoy the peace that I bring. What about you, child? You stand on your father's shoulders, seeking to make the system better and fairer. Do you think you chose the correct path? If I gave you Syracuse, could you guarantee that she would walk a better path and become a better country? I can't guarantee that. But just as you're willing to listen to me here today, if someone else comes along looking to change my ways, I'm willing to sit down and hear him out. Signora Sicilia smiles. See? I don't hear any fighting. They're fine. You're the only one who could be so at ease like this. As the head of state there, you know. Sorry for making you worry. It's fine. Huh? Where's Lapland? She... Texas casts her gaze in a certain direction. She's fulfilled her duty as a friend. Who knows what form she'll take when she shows herself next time. The only thing I can be sure of is this. We haven't seen the last of her. My head hurts just thinking about it. Never mind. Let's see how Giovanna's doing. Yeah. Giovanna, we're back. The room is empty. Sora's joy quickly turns to confusion. Then she sees a stack of paper on the desk. It is a script. Sora flips over the first page. Dedicated to my dear old friend Selenia and my new friends, Penguin Logistics. The part that Giovanna was struggling with in Act 3 of La Muerte de Texas. Is this what you left for us? You didn't have to leave.